and 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, when you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, when you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, keep the show. It's a new era.
Good morning and welcome in here on this Thursday morning.
Weird.
As we are rolling right through the week, we've got a full house. A full studio.
That's right. We're utilizing the
We're
chairs.
using the chairs and the light stands. Check those guys out over there.
Look at that.
What
So
should we
happy.
call? What should we
Christian,
call
the
this
show
corner?
started.
What should we?
Oh.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? I'm chilling.
What should we do? What should we call this corner?
He's probably tweeting. The cum corner. Oh, cut corner.
Dude.
It is. Good morning and welcome in. We appreciate you guys getting in here with us.
I didn't see any suggestions coming from you.
I was about to chat GPT it. Come on.
There you go.
Give me a second.
Go STTDB7. Fall is in the air. Time to right this ship and get these boys to play Tiger football on a Saturday night in Death Valley.
That actually fired me up.
Bringing some positivity on this Thursday morning.
I mean, if your screen name is go underscore STTDB7, you can't give up on the Tigers.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you got to be positive.
You're
You're
stuck
locked
for
into
life.
what this is. Yes.
You don't be an Ashton Stamps. You know?
Yeah,
do it.
no, I mean, first off, on that front,
Stick with it.
some news there. Ashton Stamps will not finish the season. Will redshirt and hit the transfer portal. Was anyone surprised by the announcement or the news of that move?
No.
I think if you would have said it preseason, probably would have been a surprise.
Yes.
But as you've seen as the season has gone on, not much of a surprise. And I do want to say credit to Ashton Stamps. First of all, best of luck wherever he ends up playing football. He was put in a tough spot to start his LSU football career. I mean, if you go back and you think to when he was rocking number 26, I think he was a 3-star out of Rummel that was brought in that 2023 recruiting class. Gets to LSU, and down the line of that 2023 season, due to all the injuries and just the ups and downs of that defensive season, ends up having to be your starting cornerback through like the gut of SEC play against Ole Miss and Oxford, and then he's got to start against Alabama later on down the line and Tuscaloosa. Like, ends up having to play
A lot
earlier than he needed to. And then last season in 2024 ends up being your number one corner, leads the SEC in pass breakups, had the ups and downs. Obviously, that video of Ryan Williams beating him off the line got all over. Nice.
Aggressive.
That video of Ryan Williams cooking him off the line was all over social media. But all in all, he had a relatively successful if you just take into account where he should be.
And what he was asked to do.
What he was asked to do. He was a one-man show before Zy Alexander got back.
And then Zy Alexander got hurt.
And then it was ups and downs with Zy Alexander getting back healthy and used to it. And Ashton played and started every single game for you last year. And then the case this season really just came down to Mansour Delane transfers in. We saw it in spring. I think we got on this microphone right after the spring game saying number 4's got CB1 locked up. Like you could see Mansour Delane was your starting corner early. And then it just came down to, okay, there's a 3-man battle for that boundary corner spot between DJ Pickett, the 5-star number 1 corner in the country, PJ Woodland, who obviously I think we all had known was more of a Corey Raymond guy, just needed to grow, get stronger, get bigger, more physically developed, and some more experience. And he ends up taking a hold of that job. And in turn, Ashton Stamps got jumped on the depth chart and had to make the decision that was best for him. He was thrown into the fire extremely early, and it's a credit to him that he was able to go out there last season and lead the conference in pass breakups when he was put in such a tough situation to start his LSU football career. And just over time, you see this is what happens when you add key depth at key spots. You bring in a Mansour Delane out of the portal, a DJ Pickett out of high school, the number 1 corner in the country, and then you develop a guy like PJ Woodland. Sometimes the cream starts to rise to the top, and credit to Ashton for what he did at LSU, and I really think he's going to be able to turn the page, go somewhere else, and really be able to perform because he's going to be able to use the experience he gained at LSU. And so, credit to Ashton Stamps for stepping up when he was put in such a tough spot, and best of luck to him moving forward. But I don't think many were surprised. I think the biggest thing now is if something ends up happening, you've now lost a key piece of your corner depth, right? Is that the only kind of knock against this situation at the current standpoint is you lose a little bit of that depth?
I think it also speaks to a certain morale amongst the team potentially. You know,
maybe.
I don't think if we're one loss and really in the college football playoff picture, this decision is made so publicly. It could be this is kind of what I intend to do, but I'll stick around and wait and see. I don't know, but I didn't really read this as like a very good thing for us. Like, yeah, it hurts the depth. It doesn't look great. I'm all in favor of guys like leaving, and got to do what's best for you business wise, but. I don't know. I'm
viewing
this through a different lens, I think.
Right. When you lose depth, it's obviously a knock, and I think that's the biggest negative with this situation, right?
Yeah, because I get his frustration. Obviously, it felt like you gave everything that you could. You sacrificed for the team for 2 years. You were everybody wants to play, but at some point it's like, I don't know if I'm ready to be out here, and you don't have a choice. And then it became, well, you didn't really reward me for everything I did for the team. And so it's 2 years, and then here comes PJ Woodland, DJ Pickett, and you went and got another corner because I guess I'm not good enough. And now I've played in 3 games. Well, if I can't play here, I'm going to go somewhere else. And I do think it speaks to a larger, probably where the football team is, maybe for some people, of like, I'm going to walk away and just start training. Like, I'm not even going to be enrolled in school anymore.
Right.
And that's the way you want to handle it. But I do think there's a world in which if everything was honky-dory, you would stay on the team and just like, I think we can talk to the coach and be like, look, I'll do whatever I can if you do need me. Yeah. If it becomes a spot where like I want to keep my eligibility, I want to be able to redshirt, but if it comes down to it, like I'll practice, I'll stay ready. But since you've lost 2 games and going into Texas A&M at night, it becomes I have to make a personal decision for me.
Right. Yeah. So because I agree, I think on the front of if the season still had the goal in
You don't walk away from a championship.
Right.
I wouldn't think.
No, me neither. I mean, and it's not like because I don't think it's a standpoint of like just quitting because it got rough, but it's like if I'm gonna risk, because I really think the biggest thing is the red shirt.
That's all. That's the decision.
If I'm gonna risk the red shirt, it's going to be for a bigger something that I believe is bigger than the future, which would be a national championship chance. And what ends up happening with this team currently is that conversation has obviously died down with 2 losses and still having 3 top 15 teams, 2 top 10 teams, or maybe even I think they're top 5 ahead on your schedule. Yeah. It's not that light at the end of the tunnel isn't quite as bright. The risk reward balance is different, and
I mean, he just has to. It's just unfortunate of the timing.
It's unfortunate of the timing, but it is something that, like, if you look at from take the LSU standpoint out of it, and you're looking at it just as a personal decision, it does make sense because he would be risking
literally a chance to play.
Right.
He'd be wasting a year.
100%.
But it's also a conversation that could have been had behind doors. You know.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't. Yeah, I think it has been. I mean, Brian Kelly, like, it wasn't a surprise because on Monday, he said, they asked about Jordan Gilbert and Ashton Sampson. He said, well, they've played 3 games. We're having discussions about their red shirt and how that will go down.
Yeah, we're trying to protect them.
Right. So obviously there have been the discussions behind closed doors, and those things were figured out. And I think that answer on Monday kind of put the bug in everybody's ear of like, this is probably something you're going to hear pretty soon.
Yeah.
So it does suck from a depth standpoint for LSU because if something does happen and, there is still a season ahead where there's something to fight for. But I think they've done a good job recruiting those positions, and there are other guys in those rooms who, at least in the cornerback room, who will get an opportunity to step up if it's there. And it's a credit also to the development of P.J. Woodland. I think is probably, to me, one of the biggest things in all of this that can kind of get pushed aside is you saw a player come in and was extremely undersized and needed to develop more at the position. And over a season of maybe getting some PT and an off season with Corey Raymond, he grabs a hold of the starting cornerback job across from a top 10, 15 pick on the other side.
Right, and that's when you become the target. It's like the Christian Fulton, and the same thing applies to DJ Pickett. Whenever Stingley was a true freshman, he's good enough to play, but the target is squarely on your back because across from you is also a number 1, like a first-round pick.
Right.
And they kept testing Stingley, and then it became he's picking everything off. It's like we can't go anywhere with the football right now.
Right.
And that's what made that LSU defense, that's how it kind of created some turnovers because I would think that some people don't think that was a good defense. I think they had to adjust to the offense a little bit, but you saw it all kind of come together whenever it was playoff time.
NFL players everywhere.
Once Grant Delpit got healthy, this defense looks totally different.
Because I associate, I look at the 2018 and the 2019 teams of 2018 it was greedy on one side, so they were all testing Fulton, and then it was like, well, we can't test. And so then the next season it was like, we're not going to throw it Fulton, so let's try this true threat. And so now it's the case of this is such a credit to Corey Raymond and what he's done since coming back, truly developing. We use that word a lot in kind of a negative sense with this team, I think, where there's maybe a lack of development in some spots, offensive line more particularly. P.J. Woodland has developed from a true freshman to his sophomore season, and that's kind of the biggest thing in this whole case that's created this situation.
And you're seeing development also with Pickett, who's obviously learning and being able to play as a true freshman. I mean, I know he's 6'5" and an alien, but you also still have to get coached and understand what you're doing. And then that's why you also saw, if you want to look at the depth part of this with no longer having Ashton Stamps, you saw Jakeem Jackson. He played.
Right.
And he's already used his redshirt year, so it's not like putting him in a bad spot either of trying to bide time or he can't redshirt.
Right. So, I mean, you've got some pieces, and we'll see how they need to step up. But right now, I mean, you've used a 3-man rotation at the cornerback position. It's been Mansour, DJ, and PJ. And they've been great for you up to this point. So best of luck to Ashton Stamps. Unfortunate timing, but we'll see how that continues to move forward. In other news, feels like this college baseball world is really opening up for one Jay Johnson, huh? You talked to the man last night, Lloyd. How was our king?
Oh, it was excellent to see him. He was. You can usually tell which Jay Johnson you're going to get within the first, 5 seconds of when he opens the Zoom up. If it's what's happened.
Right.
He is coming off of a national championship, a trip to the White House. The boys being introduced on Saturday and they just saw the rings. So he was just. It was all positive. It was a breath of fresh air because where we were with football, it really did change my week. It changed my outlook on life a little bit. But to have him, you forget because we were in this vacuum of LSU football. Sometimes it's like, oh, we still got some good stuff going on at LSU, and also I'm sure the news of Tony Vitello and O'Sullivan at Florida didn't hurt either.
No, I mean it was. It was back to, I mean, obviously the Vitello thing was expected, and you were just kind of waiting it out to see if it was true or not.
Right.
Then it ends up being true. Also, took a pay cut, like a substantial pay cut to go from Tennessee to the San Francisco Giants. You were kind of expecting to see if that was actually going to come to fruition. You saw him out there hitting fungo the other day, and you didn't know if it was going to happen. Then it happens, and it was like, okay, well, there's the biggest roadblock in Jay Johnson's baseball life for LSU right now, because not even as much on the diamond. The biggest threat that Tennessee has presented to LSU is obviously they're a tough team to beat, but at the same time, it's been recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
It's an LSU-Tennessee battle for a lot of these big-time transfer gets, as well as high school commits. This is what opens the door in the recruiting realm, in my opinion, more than anything else. And it's not a knock against Vitello's ability to coach his team and play baseball. LSU's just performed relatively well against Tennessee, where they win the series this past season. They beat them twice in Omaha back in 23.
Take two.
Beat them in the series in 23 as well. Like, you ran into.
They're going to feast in the portal.
Like that's what that to me the biggest thing in all of this is now the recruiting aspect of Jay Johnson. Like his life just got maybe a little bit easier in the recruiting realm.
I mean, you got to play him maybe 3-6 times, but the players play every day.
Right.
You know.
No, that's to me like that's the biggest, I guess, shift in all of this is the recruiting livelihood that it allows for LSU baseball.
General J.
From General J. Johnson on Twitter. Dearest Louisiana, General Tony Vitello of the Tennessee Regiment has deserted his post, abandoning his men in their darkest hour. The Vol ranks crumble without their leader. His cowardice spreads through their ranks like disease. Let it be known, we coming.
It'll be
General J.
It'll be interesting to see if people are talk about the portal with Jay Johnson and Tennessee's players. I feel like that's not really something he's interested in. If you have the Tennessee mindset, I feel like that's your style of play, that it doesn't really translate to what LSU does.
Right.
And so that's where I don't know. And if you were Tennessee, I don't know what you do. Like they're
kowtowing for their guy.
They're San Francisco Giants fans now. Their identity was Vitello.
And it's very similar. It's not the same exact situation for Saban at LSU, because it is similar in the sense of Saban turned LSU into what it is, and then he leaves to go get a pro job. Where it's been the same thing for Tennessee now. I mean, where that's the case, but the difference is, I don't know if LSU Vitello's obviously put in a little bit more time, and they so closely associate who they are with who he is. They don't know where to go. Yeah,
they don't know where to turn, and that's where. It's even a little bit for a lesser example, I think the Saban one is so up here for so many people, but it is maybe one of the closer scenarios, but it's also LSU basketball and Will Wade.
Right.
Whatever, our
basketball
identity was the coach.
Yeah, I don't think the football thing translates quite as much as what Saban did was unlock the secret to this program. With him, it's not like he did something secret where he tapped into something that's, No,
it was just him.
Yeah, it was just him. It's not like there was this magical Tennessee baseball, infrastructure that he finally was able to capture. It was just one guy. Yes, it's much more Will Wade than Nick Saban.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Saban changed the dynamic of what LSU became.
But also just like
this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Vitello has done. This is how you. But it just felt like he was so cock strong
with who he
of like
is.
this is how I do it, and I don't know if somebody else can follow that up in the same way.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think credit to Tennessee, and this is where one thing I want to say, because I know, like, I personally give Tennessee baseball a very hard time, and Tony Vitello as well. As much as I really don't like the way they go about business, where they are a little, they want to start fights and get chippy and cause all this.
They're flicking off the pitcher.
Right. They have been good for the growth of the sport. Now, I don't know if I would say they're good for they've been great for the sport of baseball, because
Kids
like I
are
said,
watching.
They don't always handle things in the best. I never really liked the freaking pink daddy hat.
No,
and
I couldn't get
like
by.
all of those things. Like I wasn't a fan of, and starting fights with the Vanderbilt team after the end of that game, and their shortstop trying to pick a fight with Bear Jones at first base, and all of the ways they go about business. But I will give credit where credit's due. Tony Vitello and Tennessee have put a whole lot of eyes on college baseball. The growth of the sport, as much as LSU is the standard, and LSU has grown that sport as well with guys like Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz and go down the list, Tennessee and Tony Vitello have put a lot of eyes on a sport that we hold close and dear to our heart.
And like, it might be annoying, but like, Miami in the 80s was good for college football. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of need those programs, like those guys that come in and say, like, hey, we're going to play like this. You know, it's kind of like Coastal Carolina also does to an extent. You know, like, they follow the attitude of their head coach. And it's like, we're dicks. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like,
somebody has to wear the black hat.
Somebody's gotta
exactly.
be the villain, 100%.
And, you know, I think it's good for the sport. And I'm happy he's gone, because it's one less big competitor to have to deal with. But there's part of me that's like, that shit was fun.
Yeah, no, I will give credit where credit's due. It was good from a content perspective. It was good content. Tennessee baseball was.
And it did feel like it was a quote unquote pseudo rivalry.
It was getting there.
Like LSU, Tennessee
Didn't like each other.
No,
the last 3 national championships have been won by those 2 teams.
Yeah, by who's kind of won the series. You could see which team had a leg up, and the way that LSU was able to beat them and. Last year with just the way that it all went out, it's like, again?
Right.
Like, and that's if you're Tennessee, like, damn it. Because they were very much hanging their hat on being national champions. They're like, oh, it's 1-1.
Right.
And LSU does it again to you where they beat you in in 23, they beat you in the regular season, beat you in, and then
Omaha twice.
And then beat you and knocked you out of Omaha. It's like, oh. And then you saw 24, kind of Tennessee took that whole thing over. 25, LSU bounces back again,
right?
And they're like, okay, that's
wins the series in
Baton Rouge. Now you have Tony Vitello going to the San Francisco Giants,
taking a pay cut.
And I wonder
and he's the first coach to ever take a pro job without any pro experience, going straight from college to the major leagues, right?
Yes, and that's what we talked to Jay about that. If that was kind of showing a sign where college baseball is, if that's good for college baseball, like it is, like that shows that. Like the major league aspect of all of this is it's starting to trickle down into college, where they're like, oh, it's not this farm system for later. It's we want to sign guys out of college. Like, we don't mind them going. It used to be like, don't go to college, come straight to the league. Like college baseball is over here, Major League Baseball is over here. Now it very much feels a little bit more of like a stepping stone, and that your point of they're actually looking at college coaches to go to Major League Baseball and just be able to skip. Being a manager in minor league ball and
working your way up.
And I mean, there's so many more guys just in the last 2-3 years that have gone half a season in minor league ball,
right?
You know, to going straight to the pros, or just taking one season and going straight. You know, when it used to be a guaranteed 3, 4, 5, right?
Right.
So it's I think it's probably it's an effective NIL. It's a lot of things going into the ecosystem, but like they're closer products than they used to be, and I think that's. Cool.
And I'm very intrigued to see how it works out in San Francisco.
Also, it means that we could get more top-end guys to start coming to college is another cool thing, especially 100%. For us.
I mean, I think LSU's kind of been on the forefront of that, where they've gotten some of those big-name guys, whether it's Dylan Cruz back in 2020 to, Paxton Kling was the #1 rated guy, and then last year with Schmidt and Curiel. Like, LSU's been on the forefront kind of being like, look,
they'll play that game. They'll take chances on
right.
if you've been burned by it before, but it's also just after you get somebody like that's worth the risk.
Well, it's sometimes if you just get
one,
like it's.
I mean,
I don't know if you win a national. It's like
I don't know if you win a national championship without Curiel last year.
No, I mean, he was excellent.
But yeah, no. Also, him in San Francisco is going to be.
I'm very interested to watch it, just because like I'm always interested when I see a college coach go to the pros because
it's totally different.
It's just so different. Like the way you portray a message to college kids,
and the way Vitello portrayed that message,
right, is not going to be the same way you can portray that message to grown adults, especially when some of them are probably close to your age.
And a lot of them speak Spanish or Japanese for Shohei Ohtani. I mean, it's serious.
It's a completely different environment.
Yeah,
and the daddy hat in the dugout's not gonna play with the San Francisco Giants.
No,
like it's just that those kind of things where to me Vitello just is a college coach.
It's not gonna work,
and I'm interested to see.
It's not gonna work.
What are your thoughts on Vitello's Tennessee baseball? Like, are you? Because I mean, you're a little bit younger, and I think they are trying to skew to the younger.
I mean, they're cool. I mean, their uniforms were some of the best in the country. We don't talk about that as much, but their uniforms are top end like LSU's. They're not as iconic, but their uniforms are clean. That's why everybody liked them so much. That's why people like Vandy for a little bit because they have the all blacks.
I think those are awful.
Yeah, but people like them though. Like no one cares what you think.
Yeah, nobody cares what you think.
Yeah, well, I'm right. I'm object. Like a lot of people like these uniforms.
No, they care more about what people his age think than what people your age
It's true. Like I know you're biased towards LSU, so it's more like, we want the LSU uniforms to be good.
That's what I want to ask.
But like their uniforms are clean. No, this will never work in the MLB.
Well, I'm just saying, like to you as a baseball fan, if you
Tennessee was. They kind of felt almost cooler than LSU in a sense,
right?
Until I think LSU won it again this year. They felt a lot like Vandy, is what I'm trying to say. Like the Vandy boys, that's
yeah.
A
they
cool
had their
brand.
own brand.
Right.
That's cool.
Right.
Tennessee was trending towards that. I think Coastal's trending towards that. Arkansas tried that, didn't work. Texas might end up there, but I mean, Vitello was like Tennessee felt like the 2020 Vanderbilt, and that was a problem. That felt really good. That felt like the new aged, not Alabama football, but it kind of felt like new Oregon football.
Yeah, it was like the new kid on the block that was bringing a different energy.
So that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
and I'm
I
happy he's gone now.
No, it'll be interesting to see the dynamic and just how much it opens up. Because I think the surprise was O'Sullivan, right? Like this wasn't something that was kind of hinted at.
Both things happening in the same day is wild.
Was a leave of absence?
Yeah. And I don't think he's retiring or leaving the program, but it's just a leave of absence, and I'm sure he'll be back before the season starts. But it was just wild to see the timing of everything. Like, oh God,
they're all running away from Jay.
Right, like that's an easy narrative to build.
Right.
And then you have LSU getting national championship rings. It's like it's just it was a good day to be an LSU baseball fan.
This thing might get boring.
Oh, I'd love it.
Yeah,
I'd kill for that kind of boring.
Well, it's like it's almost like this sense of with what LSU is and definitely has become again now with Jay Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
If it starts to go where like the big dogs that are because I mean I would say Vitello was probably the biggest competition at Tennessee, whether it's on the diamond or in recruiting. O'Sullivan, in the sense of what LSU has become, where they're like. I mean, pitching university. That's who O'Sullivan has always been. He's always had two aces, and you're going into the College World Series in 2017 against those two guys. And you're like,
every year, and then that's what the other thing that people forget. Like O'Sullivan, you can think whatever you want of him. Not the best, not the best character, I guess, as it were. But he always has Florida baseball, like in Omaha, and give it always with a chance. And it's a testament to him because nobody gives a shit about Florida baseball. For some reason, he can't get anybody there.
No, he can't.
Like, nobody goes to the games, and all he does is win.
It's unbelievable.
It's wild to me because what does Florida have to offer? Like, I mean, your football program isn't very good.
Right.
You just fired your coach.
Basketball
is great.
Right.
I don't think people go to that either.
No, I think they want football.
And they don't have it.
They're addicted to football.
And that's why, I mean, LSU,
They'll like
right,
the
wrong, or
basketball team this
indifferent,
year.
they'll go to wherever the winning is.
Yeah, I went to an LSU soccer game
Hell yeah.
in 2021 when I was in college because it was like LSU was undefeated. They were number 6 going against number 3, and
You sicko.
that place was packed.
Sicko. We know why you were at that soccer game.
And
I don't blame
I'm
you.
telling you, those
He goes to
stands-
every volleyball game, too.
those stands were packed because all you need is a winner.
Yeah.
Like they found out LSU's got the number 5 soccer team. They're like,
Oh, shit, I'll go.
let's do it. The place was rocking.
I mean,
like,
same
oh,
thing with gymnastics.
We're gonna win a gymnastics national championship. Like,
How
hey, yeah,
does
sure, let's
this
do
game
it.
work? Okay. good
Indoor track and field. We got a
Yeah,
shot. I'll
right.
tune
And
in.
so-
When's the fucking meet?
But on the front of it becoming boring, like
That's fine.
if these big dogs start to kind of dissipate and go elsewhere or whatever, I mean, it's just the standard of college baseball. The powerhouse
I don't think-
is only getting more powerful.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's going to get boring because I mean the SEC is going to have the most competitive baseball regardless.
100%.
There's still Texas, there's still Arkansas, there's still these other teams that are.
Oh,
gonna,
yeah. No,
Ole
it's
Miss won a championship. You know, I mean,
It's not a. It's a. I mean,
It's an-
O'Connor at Mississippi State.
Right.
Like he's.
Yeah.
but it is
they're
nice
trying
to be on the other side of this shit.
Well, it's kind of just.
It's the
looks like-
antithesis of football.
Exactly.
You know,
It's like, look at all you peasants
Right.
running away.
right? Like everyone's
King J.
trying to catch up. You know, like we're doing in football.
I think there
constantly.
is a genuine concern if Schloss doesn't figure it out and Mississippi State doesn't continue their success, I guess you could say. This thing will get boring. Like, Jay is a machine. We've already seen
Right,
it. He's
right.
won 2 in 4 years. Like, no, this thing really could get boring. Like, people are
It's
going to
not
start
boring.
taking...
It's not going to be boring
No.
for us.
No, I'm saying people are going to start taking this thing for granted because it might get easy. Like,
Well,
it might get too easy.
I think like the nature of the beast in baseball means it probably won't. You know, just because.
Right.
Like we said, you know, baseballs, you know, so like even though we'll be the team that's there all the time, you're still gonna get snuck up and bit occasionally. But yeah, it's gonna be real fun to
Yeah,
never
I'm all
not
for-
be
I'm all
right in the
for
conversation.
LSU baseball getting just
I don't think there's anything boring
getting
about that.
to make the sport boring by winning all the time, and you can go check them out this weekend.
Today.
Tonight, 4:30 p.m. this evening, and then what's that? Friday, Sunday. Obviously taking Saturday off for some LSU football in Death Valley, but you can go 4:30 p.m. this evening, 3:30 tomorrow, and then 1 p.m. on Sunday to just bask in the glory that is LSU baseball. Hopefully, after an LSU football win, being maybe in a good mood going into the fall ball matchup, some fall ball competition. So LSU baseball bringing some positivity onto the timeline as per usual, but we will get into more of that later on. Because now it's LSU football time. We'll have Glen West join us at 8 a.m. this morning. He'll hop on the Zoom and give his thoughts on the current state of LSU football. I believe Brian Kelly will meet with the press today. And yesterday, they released the initial availability report. And obviously, this is a big one for LSU because there's a lot of names to be on the lookout for. Out for LSU is Gabriel Relaford, not a surprise. Tyree Adams, not a surprise. You knew both of those guys were going to be out. Doubtful is number 40, Whit Weeks. And so I think we can just go ahead and classify that as out. Questionable, Bernard Gooden. Also, questionable is not something that is, like, to me, questionable means doubtful. We'll see what the outcome with Bernard Gooden is. I believe Brian Kelly had said he has been going through some of the things at practice. They'll see how it goes. Jamari Butler is probable. So we'll see as the availability report continues to progress what this looks like. But still some key pieces missing. I mean, you're going to be missing your left tackle, which is not a surprise, but sucks. Possibly missing your best linebacker, maybe your best defensive player, your best defensive tackle, defensive lineman, and then Jamari Butler, who's been a huge piece of this defensive end room, is also probable.
Is it fair to say probable means questionable, questionable means doubtful, doubtful means out?
That's how I read them every time.
That's what I do too.
That's, to me, what that means.
And it's definitely proven to be accurate the last few weeks.
And the interesting one to me is the Whit Weeks situation, because he was in a walk, and I don't know if it's just like the term for walking boot has changed, but I believe I read like a non-weight bearing boot, and I was like, timeout. He was walking on the sideline last week, and now he's not putting weight on his ankle. Interesting, but obviously the bigger thing is, can you compete with missing pieces? Because last week you saw how much you missed a guy like number 40 and a guy like number 88. And even a guy like 12.
Mm-hmm.
You missed Butler, Gooden, and Weeks, in my opinion, pretty big time against Vanderbilt. Now, whether that was because of the plays they would make, or also I think there was a sense of other guys trying to do too much or overcompensating because they're missing their guys.
I think there are probably some organizational issues, too, without Weeks being out there. You know,
Right.
I mean, the head of the snake, really.
100%. Well, and there was a visible difference in the energy, I think, with missing Bernard Gooden and Whit Weeks, who, in my opinion, are two guys that are extremely vocal leaders. I mean, we saw Bernard Gooden in fall camp talking mess with Garrett Nussmeier for an entire practice. Like, was literally in his stance, lined up on the line of scrimmage.
Just talking
to the quarterback, his quarterback.
Yeah, whenever he got there, I think it was kind of a surprise that he played that way, or what they're like, this motherfucker doesn't shut up, and it was so true, and like in a good way. If he talks, he brings his energy that way, and it became like it's infectious. And the same thing with, you look at Diego Pavia, and if I say I raise you Whit Weeks, they almost cancel each other out. Like if he wants to get Vanderbilt fired up, Whit Weeks does the same thing for LSU's defense. And so not having him out there, whatever, he would take down Pavia and do his, like, it would get people to the point of like, okay, now we're all rallying to the football. Like Pavia doesn't have the juice today.
And that could certainly make a touchdown's difference.
Yeah, and
stop him on one or two
especially
of those big runs
on the road.
Yeah.
Right, and we keep doing this where we're seeing injury reports or people are out and we're like, oh, LSU's got depth. At some point, this thing is.
Well, you want your best players
the
on
boat.
the
The boat is taking on a lot of water,
Right.
and you did build it up to have the ability to continue to compete, but
key guys are key guys for
key guys, yeah, they're starters for a reason.
They're your best players on purpose. They're not your best players just because
that's the ones you see and you know.
Right.
They're your best players because they are better. Like, that's just the case. Like, Bernard Gooden is your number one defensive tackle, and that's not a knock against Don McKinley or Jacoby and Guillory or anyone else in that room. Bernard Gooden's the best because he's the best. You went out and got him because you needed him. Whit Weeks is your best linebacker because he's the best. And credit to Devon Keys and West Weeks and Tylen Singleton and Harold Perkins, those other guys, but Whit Weeks is Whit Weeks. And so you want to have elite national championship depth, and obviously that means having guys that can go out there and step up. And I think there were some plays that you would like back if you're West Weeks or Devon Keys, definitely Harold Perkins. But they still made the plays in opportune times to make those things happen and to try and win that football game. The offense didn't really step up. And you have depth on this team, but you do still need your best players to compete and win in the SEC, especially when you've got the number 3 and number 4 teams in the country next up on the docket. And now it's better to be at home this weekend because missing a guy like Whit Weeks and a guy like Bernard Gooden, that energy, that leadership on the road is tough.
11 a.m. on the road.
11 a.m. Like
in
when
a smaller stadium,
need
there's
your
not
guys,
all that energy.
Right, you need your guys to bring the juice, to bring the energy, to get everybody else ready to run through a wall. And you didn't have that on the field. Now, they were on the sideline, and credit to them, they brought the energy on the sideline. Whit Weeks and his sunglasses with the cables on the back and his shaved head, he was bringing the energy. Bernard Gooden the same way. It's not the same as when they're on that field.
You still need them to bring the energy after you give up a big play or someone is not in the right spot. You need them to be right there for the next snap. Make sure that you're focused and you're hyped, and you feel confident.
Right, and that aspect I don't think is as important when you're playing in Death Valley because you've got 102,000 of those guys,
right?
Hopefully. And so you don't need the same energy you would need in Nashville or in Tuscaloosa or in Oxford when you're missing those guys. But it's a real concern when you don't have some of your better defensive players, and I think it puts more pressure on those other guys out there. And really, one person in particular I feel like bears a lot of the weight of all of this, and it's Harold Perkins. Like, one, because he's number 7, he's your best athlete, he's your key player on defense. he bears the weight of a lot of this because a lot of it ends up falling. Oh, you're missing Jamari Butler, an edge rusher? Well, put Perk there. Let Perk do it. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're missing Bernard Gooden, the up-the-middle type presence? Oh, just let Perk try. Let's let Perk. Oh, you're missing Whit Weeks, your star linebacker?
No, Perk is just side to side.
That's a lot of pressure to put on one guy. And the Perk I saw last Saturday, look, did he play well? No, he didn't. There were plays that if you go and look at it, once he gets put in coverage, he's not very good in coverage. And that's something that's been a concern all year. But I also saw plays where he was pressing. The play where it was like a zone read option, Pavia and the running back, Perk's assignment was to stick with Pavia to be the contain on that side, and he over-pursued and went after the running back where, in my mind, when I saw that play, that's him pressing. He was almost trying to tackle both guys instead of trusting his guys on the other end. In my mind, it's because he knows he doesn't have 40 over there. If he knows he's got his guy... what Witt and West called Perk an honorary Weeks brother.
Right.
If he knows he's got his brother on the other side,
he knows what he's going to do.
It's not he's not pressing as much. Witt isn't out there, so what's Perk puts that pressure on himself the same way we put the pressure on him. Where he was pressing, he felt like he had to make that play. Pavia makes the heady, smart play, pulls the football, and he's got the corner. He's able to get out in space. There's a lot of pressure put on number 7. And rightfully so. He is one of the most electrifying defensive players you've seen at LSU when you look back at his freshman season and even the way he's played at times this year. But he's got to be in positions that he can't make mistakes like that. He can't press like that again, especially against a guy like Marcel Reed, who, don't get me wrong, Pavia is dangerous in the open field. I think we can all agree Marcel Reed's a better runner than Diego Pavia, right? Maybe a little bit more of a threat with the football in his hands.
I don't know.
He's faster.
He's faster.
More elusive.
Pavia's got that more.
Pavia
the intangibles.
It's crazy.
It's impressive.
Like, it doesn't make a ton of sense that he is as good as he is, but
Did you see him with his shirt off? He looks like a fire hydrant.
I feel like that was Hunter Hall's takeaway watching Pavia, was he called him a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pressure that's going to fall on number 7's shoulders, and he is one of the things I'm going to be watching the most closely this weekend. If there's no Butler, no Gooden, no Weeks, it's going to be a lot of eyes on number 7. And look, there's other guys defensively that's got to step up. Jack Pyburn's got to finish plays. He can't continue to get into the backfield and not bring guys down, whether it be Lenore Sellers or Diego Pavia. That was back-to-back weeks of Pyburn not finishing the play. Credit to him for creating the havoc and getting back there, but it's not two-hand touch. Got to finish the play.
Right.
And he hadn't.
And LSU did I would say, called a good defense. Like, they put their players in positions to make plays. You got outplayed. And Pavia created some things that's why I hesitate to say that Reed's better than I just think Pavia can create some magic where there feels like there's nothing there. He's able to find something. I think Marcel Reed's more of like, if you get to him, you'll get him down. But I would say if that straight line speed, he's faster.
Right.
And
well, it's a more calculated attack A&M has.
And A&M has done like this. They've won games 16-10, and they've won games 41-40.
Right.
And
45-42.
I don't know if that's a testament to they can win both ways, or it's like you don't know what team you're going to get.
Right. No, I mean, Mike Elko didn't give out a single defensive award after last Saturday.
Well, I don't think there's one to give out.
he was like nobody's gave up 42 points to Arkansas, which Arkansas.
That's what also is scary. Or is Arkansas actually better than we think?
They score a lot of points.
They do score. But that's where going into this game, like people want to be positive. That's what I look at. I see Texas A&M and go, I see number 3 in the country, but I don't see the third best football team in the country. Right. I think LSU has a very real chance to be able to pull an upset off, and I wouldn't even view it as an upset. Like, lest we forget, A&M also has an injury report.
I mean, no
Le'Veon Moss, pretty big deal.
I'd view it as an upset at this point.
Would you? I mean, I know on paper, I guess, because it's number 3 versus number 20.
But when you see it on the field.
We haven't played. We haven't put it together once.
I think
You know.
the only thing that makes me think maybe it's not is the fact that Vegas put it as LSU's 2.5 point dogs,
And
which essentially says this game is not going to be number 3 versus number 20. You know, the on paper upset that it would be.
I think it'd be an upset in terms of. I don't know if I'm expecting us to be able to put together a complete enough game to beat a pretty good team like that. Like, it's not an upset in terms of, like, we have the talent, obviously. We know that. Like, it's not an upset on those terms. Yeah, at home we can beat anybody. But it's an upset in terms of the mentality of the team right now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I agree. I think Saturday's a big stage to really see what this LSU football team is made of, in a sense. Like, there's so many things going against LSU football right now.
right.
In the media, the national media, the fact that you've got 2 losses, so many things.
Injuries.
That it was like, why
Portal.
why are we worried? Like, there's nothing left. There's so many things to give them a way out, and so I think it's a really interesting opportunity.
We've said this nearly every game, but this is your season.
Well, that's who you are. And LSU's admitted that's what it is from day one.
1-0.
When they put 1-0 on the screen. It was like, it's a week by week thing, and that's what's become, where every single week there are 10 reasons why you can win and 20 why you could lose.
It's your season.
Or 20 why you could win or 10 why you could lose. It's every single week, and that's what the SEC is, granted.
That's what college football is
That's
right
what
now.
college football is, but LSU more so because they're just not a complete team. And so every single team you face is going to bring, especially in conference, challenges that you maybe aren't the most prepared for, whether that's a mobile quarterback, whether that's a pass rush, and A&M's got both, whether it's a home field advantage that the other team had. There's so many things that will play against LSU, and that's why every single week we've gone into South Carolina and we said, this is a big opportunity for LSU. We go into Vanderbilt like, oh, this is the time for LSU to make a statement. Now you're going into A&M and you're saying, time for LSU to make a statement. Like, it's the same thing every time.
But before it was, do you want to stay in the national championship picture? And then it's, do you want to have a respectable season still?
Right.
You know, and then you lose this one, and then it's a different bar. Do you want to have one of the worst? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's the season every time, but you're kind of moving the goalposts in terms of, like, what is
the expectation.
Like,
what does this game mean?
What is
What's
success?
what's the goal? What's the like? What is the reason why this game is important? Has changed every single time.
Yeah, exactly.
Going into Ole Miss, it was important because it was like, I mean, what, you were 4-0. You're going into that game. You're like, hey, let's stay undefeated. You're the number 3 team in the country. That's why that game was important. Then you're going into South Carolina. It's like, okay, you got to get right, change the narrative. That's why that game was important. You win that football game. You go into Vanderbilt, and it's like, okay, they're talking a lot of trash. You got to go out there. You got to make a statement.
We can
if you're
stay in
LSU
the
football or
picture
not.
if we win this game.
And then
last
you
week.
lose it. And so now it's, I mean, do you want to be alive almost? Like, that's what, like, show signs of life against A&M at home, where they're undefeated. They're the number 3 team in the country. And from a national media perspective, if you just go out there and handle business in a similar way you did Clemson, it doesn't take much for the national media to be like,
Swing the pendulum back to you.
okay. Like, us, we're going to view it way differently because we're going to dissect and break down and
Right.
overanalyze so much of the game from a LSU media perspective. But from the national media and the AP poll, you've seen what the AP poll has done. Vandy was number 17. LSU was number 10. One game later, Vandy's top 10. LSU drops down to 20. I mean, LSU beats Texas A&M. Boom, they're up to 14 again, and A&M drops to number 10.
Also, you don't want to lose 2 games and then go into
No, you don't want to lose your season and then go into Alabama with nothing to play for.
In the 4 games, 2 of them are Alabama and
Right,
Oklahoma. And then also, like we said, Arkansas is a team that maybe matches up really well against us.
Right,
Especially
right.
if you have no confidence.
Yes, no. I mean, it's a key turning point in the season where it's like, do you want to be alive, or are you already a dead man walking?
Right. Have you given up? Or
is there still something to play
are
for?
we going to have a bit of a fight here?
And it we could swing a little bit of the narrative that is around LSU, because I think there are some, like we've said, that are almost like watching with one eye open to see, do I actually want LSU to win? Do I want do I want to watch it all burn down? Because if that becomes the national narrative in a loss, it's everybody's going to point to one man, and his seat is already, like, he's already being looked at as, this thing is not a great fit. That's just a matter of time, and that's LSU just has to wait. Because, I asked you yesterday, if LSU had the money, do you think this would already be done? And you said unequivocally yes.
100%.
And I think that's kind of where it is. I don't know if Brian Kelly can actually do anything to change the narrative around him, but if he puts together a plan and a football team that looks prepared, and it's not this, hey, you haven't changed anything. You don't look like you're ready to play football. And I think that's I think that's where people are like, I know you have the talent because so much has been made of it.
You paid for it.
Right, and you didn't run from that.
Right.
You went and said, I got receipts. And you saw when, you've seen games when it was right, at least defensively, okay, I see what you paid for. And now you look at the offense, you're just waiting for something to happen, and it just hasn't really come to fruition yet. You played better on offense against Vanderbilt, but it's still, you've proven that, unlike A&M, can win both ways, right? LSU cannot win in a shootout. No. I don't think they can win a 42-41 football game.
No, and
they haven't scored 40 in quite some time.
No, and when I look at
no Tyree Adams,
and you're missing your left tackle on a line that's already been bad. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Bad
the
and not
line is bad,
showing signs of improvement.
No.
Not a little less bad every time.
And on your standpoint
it's just still bad.
On your standpoint of Brian Kelly and the fan base, to me, and I know I said it a lot yesterday, the narrative won't change around Kelly, but the narrative around LSU can change. And I think that the case can become where they're almost two separate entities, where it's like you're winning in spite of your coach. And I think, at least in the fan base perspective. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like on Saturday. We'll continue that conversation when we get back at 8 a.m. with Glen West from 247 Sports as he covers the Tigers. He's going to join us to open up hour 2 this morning and continue the LSU football conversation. Don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by CAS Roofing and Advising. You see the folder right here to my right, your left on the screen. CAS Roofing and Advising. It's not just another roof. It's our reputation. Shout out to our guy Pierce Patterson from CAS. Does great work. I swung by one of the CAS jobs the other day. They were out there working hard, smiling, enjoying themselves. Go check them out on social media at CAS Roofing, Instagram and Facebook. They're putting out new stuff there every day. But also, if you are in need of a new roof, you have any questions about your roof, if you've got grit in your driveway, you got shingles missing, or if you just have an older home and your roof is 10 years old or older, call 225-910-0619, and Pierce will come out there, hop up on your roof, check it out. He'll walk you through what's needed, what's necessary, if you need a new roof, if you don't. And if you do, they'll walk you through the process. They'll take care of you as they go along. 225-910-0619. Like, subscribe, share it with some friends. We'll be right back with more Tingle & Co. after this.
Wardos was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Ryan Granning at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Gilmore has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
Where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality. When it comes to your
All right, welcome back here in hour number 2 this morning. We good?
I gotta get the. Give me 1 second.
Sorry, we're gonna get this echo figured out for you guys in just one moment. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us here on this Thursday morning as we prepare for LSU Texas A&M Saturday night in Death Valley this weekend. Not looking like the weather's gonna be the best, but we'll see what Death Valley looks like on Saturday night as we are joined by our very, very good friend, Mr. Glen West from 247 Sports. Glen, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing great. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. Just watched my Pelicans, blow a third quarter lead last night in the opener, and I guess we're on pace for the same kind of results as last year, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate to sit and watch. The same problems continue to arise in that Pelicans game. But looking at LSU football, speaking of problems, there have been some of the same problems continuing to go on. One of them being mobile quarterbacks. Diego Pavia looked extremely comfortable and obviously was really one of the, if not the main reason they were able to take down LSU in Nashville. When you look ahead to this Saturday, Marcel Reed across the line of scrimmage and some of the struggles he can cause, what is your outlook on the matchup between this LSU defense and Marcel Reed on Saturday?
Well, I'm hoping that they can get a couple of these guys healthy defensively. I mean, it'd be a big help if Bernard Gooden could play, if Jamari Butler could play. It doesn't sound very promising for Whit Weeks right now, so I think he's been listed as doubtful going into the game on Saturday. So we'll see kind of what his status looks like towards the end of the week. But they need everybody in this game, or as many as healthy guys as they can, because Diego Pavia is a really smart quarterback. He's obviously a really talented quarterback and very quick on his feet. But Marcel Reed's a different kind of athlete. I mean, we were talking with Ahmad Bro on Tuesday, and we asked him kind of who he would compare Marcel Reed's athletic ability to, and he said instantly Lamar Jackson. Like, I mean, he's got that kind of quick speed. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson, but he's kind of the college version maybe of Lamar Jackson from a speed standpoint at this point. So he's very, very elusive. He's very talented. He's improved as a passer this year too, which has really helped their team. Obviously, they have a couple of explosive receivers in Craver and Conception, so they do a really nice job of getting those guys the ball. And then when plays are breaking down or when nothing's there, Reed is very, very good at making guys miss and on defense, and LSU's going to have to be able to contain him to have any kind of chance of getting off the field on Saturday. He's a really, really difficult cover.
And when you talk about this LSU defense getting healthy, one of the things I was talking about earlier this morning, and maybe just kind of my viewpoint going into this game, Lord have mercy, was I felt like last week there was a lot of pressure on Harold Perkins. I felt like maybe he was pressing a bit. It wasn't one of his best performances. And obviously a lot of eyes are on him all the time, but especially when you're missing guys like Whit Weeks, Bernard Gooden, Jamari Butler, those pieces on that defense. What did you see from Perkins' performance last Saturday, and maybe your expectations for how he can improve going into this matchup against Texas A&M?
Yeah, it was a really disappointing performance from Harold last weekend. I mean, I think when you have so many guys, so many veteran players missing in that front seven, you really need somebody like him to step up, and unfortunately he just didn't do it. I thought, he was getting into the backfield, but he was just taking the wrong angles. His containment was not very good. He didn't, the eye discipline was not always there. The rush lanes were not always there for him. And honestly, the success that Vanderbilt did have through the passing game, 8 of their 14 completions last weekend came to tight ends, and that's something that Harold Perkins is asked to cover is the tight end position when he's able to drop in coverage. So he needs to bounce back for sure in this game. I think he's going to have to be crucial to maybe not even just getting Marcel Reed on the ground, but just making him a little uncomfortable and making him throw balls that maybe he doesn't want to. They have to be much better with their rush lanes. They have to be much better with their containment, and that starts with Harold Perkins, because I think he's probably your most effective pass rusher at this point. Pyburn's a guy who can get some pressure off the edge. Gooden, if he's able to play, can get you some pressure on the interior, but really Harold Perkins has been kind of the guy that has been able to get off the edge and really create a lot of playmaking opportunities. He just hasn't made all the plays yet this year, and I think that's probably the most disappointing angle to last week's game, is that he did get into the backfield and he was able to at least force Pavia to kind of move around the pocket a little bit, but they just were never able to bring him down. And I think that challenge is going to be even tougher this weekend with Marcel Reed.
And when you look at the LSU offense, they obviously have had the struggles in general, especially on the offensive line, and now they're going into another game without their left tackle against a very, very good Texas A&M pass rush. I think they've already matched their 2024 sack numbers just through 7 games this year. So that's obviously going to present a challenge. What do you expect to see on the offensive line? And are you surprised that that Carius Kern's name is not as prevalent in the tackle position discussion?
Yeah, I think Carius would be a great option, but yeah, it just doesn't sound like they're really considering him much. I mean, I think BK said on Monday that it's going to be DJ Chester getting a lot of the reps, and Kern will rotate in, kind of a deal. Look, they can't afford to have another performance like last weekend and expect, Nussmeier to stay upright and not turn the ball over in those situations either. It was a miracle that he didn't have any kind of interceptions last weekend with some of the passes he had to throw because of the pressure he was facing. And I think that mixing it up on the offensive line couldn't hurt at this point. I mean, that we've seen what this 5-man group can do, and I would lean into some younger guys, whether it's Carius Kern, whether it's some other younger pieces that you have back there. Bo Bordelon, I know, is a veteran guy, but get him in the mix maybe. There's other options. Ori Williams would be a guy that maybe you look at, but obviously they think that this is the 5. I mean, that was a pretty consistent thing that Brian Kelly said on Monday with reporters, is that they had a better player, or they had a better 5-man group out there, they would play them, but they clearly think this is the group that they're going to roll with. And so where do you go from there? You just hope that they can develop a little bit this week, and that they have a good game plan, that they are able to hold up just long enough to get Nussmeier the ball, or to get Nussmeier enough time to get the ball out of his hands.
And when you look at, really, to me, the vibe around LSU football right now, the energy around the program, whether it's the fan base, the national media, or the LSU, the beat report, the media around here.
Yeah, who are you fighting?
Who
are you boxing?
They're going at it on Twitter. Just all of the energy around it. Have you ever seen anything like this? And what do you attribute? Obviously, a lot of it can go with just losing, but we've seen losses before, whether it's with Kelly, with O, with Les. I don't know if I've ever seen an energy or a vibe like this where there's so much discontent and even just kind of anger at other fans, other media members, coaches, it just feels like a real mess, right?
Yeah, it is. I would say, I don't think we've reached, kind of the last couple of years of the Orgeron tenure kind of levels yet. I think, look, technically this team is still very much in the playoff picture.
Right.
I mean, they have 2 losses. I mean, they have to do something pretty special and pretty out of the box to, run the tables here over the next 5 weeks or next 5 games. But, yeah, look, it's not good vibes right now. Brian Kelly even talked about it on Monday, how, a lot of the players and, the coaches were frustrated after that loss at Vanderbilt, and it had to be a quick turnaround to reset mentally and refocus mentally. And it sounds like on Tuesday they felt like they had a pretty good spirited practice, and if that's kind of the vibes that you're getting right now from the program, you can obviously tell that the fan base is not happy, and that's certainly transferred to social media and a lot of the things that you're seeing online. But look, I think at the end of the day, what you got to realize here is that LSU's in a position where I don't think that they can make the moves that most fans want, and so what is the next step there over the next 6 games? I think that LSU has to figure out what kind of impact or what kind of serious changes they want to make with this offensive staff. I think that's where you go. That's where my mind goes, at least, is where do you start on the offensive staff? Where do you finish? And just kind of what does that look like? Because at the end of the day, I mean, unless something really, really bad happens over the next 5 games and they just implode and, they lose the locker room and things of that nature, I don't expect Brian Kelly to get fired. And I know that's, what a lot of the sentiment is online right now, but I don't personally see that happening. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Lloyd?
Oh, I asked this to Noah earlier in the show where I said, because of the temperature around Brian Kelly, what it is, I said, if LSU did have the money, do you think that he would be gone? He unequivocally said yes. And I think that's the frustration maybe in all of this is that Brian Kelly, and the fact that you feel kind of, from the fan base's perspective, they feel stuck with him. And you haven't seen anything really change. You've seen the same Brian Kelly, the word salad that you get every press conference, and I think people are tired of being told, we got to fix it. All of this is correctable, and all of the same buzzwords that he says, and people are just they're tired of honestly tired of hearing him talk. And I don't think there's anything they can do about it.
I think the biggest indictment you can have on Brian Kelly right now is that he was billed as a guy that would be able to bring in the right kind of coaching staff and the right kind of pieces to make this thing look respectable for a large chunk of seasons, and here we are 4 years into this thing, and he's already had to replace an entire defensive staff, and he's looking like he's going to have to replace a good chunk of this offensive staff after this year if this continues to trend the way that it is. So that was his thing. He was billed as this CEO type of coach. This coach is going to be able to, put the right kind of pieces around the players to get the most out of them. And we just haven't seen it. We haven't seen the offensive line talent behind a lot of those guys that were drafted last year develop into what they needed to be this year. Certainly the offense has taken a giant step back from even a year ago, and there's just not a whole lot of room to see where you could, realistically improve at this point in the season. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for me is looking at kind of the coaching hires and how so much of it has gone off the rails here the first 4 years, and just how they're going to have to plan on trying to fix it here in the off season.
And that's again, because it feels like the same song and dance where it's not Brian Kelly, it's all the pieces around him. It's you're the one that did that too. So I think that's part of the front. Yeah. So at some point, you're going to have to be able to say, maybe it's not everybody else. Like you could point to one person, and I think that's the frustration. And I honestly do think you talked about maybe if it goes one way and goes off the rails. I think there's some people that want that to happen.
Yeah,
you've lost the fan base.
There's certainly some guys on our message board that feel that way.
Yeah.
We got a very passionate message board over at Go 24/7, and we're hearing it every single day, every hour really, about how I think there's a large portion of the fan base that's kind of done with this era already, and it's hard to knock them right now because there's certainly no evidence that LSU can kind of be that season-long kind of team that can get into that playoff contention. And so I think that this buyout is probably a little too rich for LSU this year. Like I don't think that that's the move that they make unless, like you mentioned, like we mentioned here, that they just go completely off the rails and they have really no other choice. But I mean, it's the buyout, it's paying out the staff, it's buying the next guy, it's paying the next staff, and then it's giving the next staff a roster to be able to go out and compete. And that's you're looking at $100 million.
$100 million.
That's just a lot of turnover here. And I think it's one thing for the coach to lose the fan base. I think it's another thing for them to lose the administration. And honestly, I don't have an answer for that of how much the administration is ready to move on from Brian Kelly. I mean, you can say what you want, but he's very professional. He does all of his obligations and things of that nature. And I don't think he has made the LSU I guess brass look bad. I mean, and they haven't gotten the results that they've wanted on the field, but I just think it's such a huge investment to move on just 4 years in with that contract and that buyout that you just have to go to the next thing. And what's the next thing? Well, the offense has really struggled this year, so you got to make the changes there. You got to bring in new personnel. You got to bring in probably a new quarterback and new offensive linemen, and that's going to be a whole nother part of this. The investment piece to that is how much are they able to wrangle up the donor base this offseason to go get the players that they need to rapidly improve offensively? So there's a lot of questions here, and honestly, how these next 5 weeks play out is going to be the ultimate telltale sign. I don't have a crystal ball for that, but when you look ahead, you look at the offseason, I think there's going to be change coming for sure.
Yeah, and you bring up the next 5 weeks, and we'll start with just this Saturday because I think this Saturday, and we've said it every week, I think the last 2 times we've had you on ahead of South Carolina and Vanderbilt, where it's another week where you're going into it and there's so much pressure on this football game because really, from a national media perspective, the narrative can be flipped from 1 week to the next. If you take care of business in Death Valley and you beat the number 3 team in the country, it's back to, well, LSU might still be a player. They're going into the bye week before they play Alabama and Tuscaloosa. If they can that, and get things figured out, they can be really competitive. So once again, there's a lot of pressure put on this game, and I think this is a really good opportunity for LSU and the program to show that it's bigger than just whoever's in charge, because that's been my viewpoint, of LSU, is that the program, the 3 letters, the 2 colors is always bigger than just one person, whether that's the head coach or an OC or whoever. LSU is bigger and greater than that. And this Saturday feels to me like an opportunity to go out and show that. Texas A&M hasn't beat LSU in Baton Rouge since being in the SEC. I think 1994 was the last time the Aggies won in Baton Rouge. And so history tells you A&M doesn't beat LSU in Death Valley. And so once again, this is an opportunity to show that LSU is still LSU, even though the guy in charge maybe doesn't seem that way. Is that how you feel about this Saturday?
Yeah, look, I think probably this is the big opportunity here to start, kind of winning some people back over if you're LSU and if you're this program. Like my whole thing has been now that I'm kind of really starting to really form an opinion on this season is that they'll have good moments. Like they'll win games, they'll win some big games. They won't win all the big games and certainly not close to all the big games that they need to win to be the kind of team they want to be. But they can win games like this. Like they've been really good at home over the last 4 years. Like they've done a really nice job of securing the home base and not allowing teams to just come in here and push them around all that often. I mean, I think Tennessee in 2022 was really the only blowout they've had at home since Brian Kelly took over. Like they've done a decent job at home these last several years. But when you look at this matchup on paper, there's just not a whole lot to like about LSU's chances here. I think when you're trying to make the case for LSU this weekend and you're going to, well, maybe they can lean on the home crowd a little bit, or maybe they can rise to the occasion kind of thing. That just kind of tells you like where we're at right now. And going into the season, we thought this is going to be a group that could compete week in and week out, and that they would have these explosive plays offensively, and that they could get into the backfield and make plays. And look, I also want to say like the defense last week, I don't think is what we see for the next 5 weeks. If it is, then LSU's in real trouble. But that was really the only time this year where I think LSU has been pushed around defensively, and it's going to be a big test for Blake Baker and those guys in the front seven in particular, especially if Weeks can't play and they're down a couple of these starters again. But I expect the defense to be a little bit better this weekend, but it really just comes back to the offense for me, and right now there's just not a whole lot of optimism that they can finish drives. That's been kind of the big bugaboo here in recent weeks, is that they've been able to move the ball in between the 30s a little bit, but they just haven't been able to come close to finishing off the amount of drives for touchdowns that they need, and settling for way too many field goals. So that's kind of where I come back to with this offense, and it just doesn't seem to always be. They never seem to be in sync, and that's been kind of the biggest problem for really this season. But it's been a symptom of what the last 3 or 4 years have been too. Is that when the defense plays poorly, the offense is really good. When the offense is really good, or when the offense is really bad, the defense is really good. There's just never been that synergy where you can get both of them on the same page for a prolonged amount of time. And that's honestly the other thing that you can point directly to the head coach and why that's the case.
And what I'll ask you with you obviously looking at this game this Saturday as a very tough task for LSU to win, which it is. If LSU does lose and get their third loss, which in turn would essentially mean the playoff hopes are essentially dead. You are that would be 2 straight losses. What do you expect to see after that? Would it be an ability to maybe turn the page and get right, or is that kind of the beginning of maybe the implosion that could be on the other side, like you saw last year, where they lose to A&M and then they lose to Alabama and then they lose to Florida, and it just all kind of crumbled in hand? With what you have ahead of you, could that be what kind of happens with the direction of the season after Saturday?
Yeah, I think everything's on the table, honestly, in terms of just what happens this weekend. Like, I think how they look and how they perform, what kind of energy and effort that they're playing with is going to tell us a lot about what the next several games are going to look like after that. I honestly don't have a good answer to that question, man, because you don't want to look that far ahead, because if you're constantly writing about just the negative points of this program right now, it's just not it's not something you really want to look forward to. So I think for me, like, what I just want to see is this team come out and play smart and play more physical. If you can do that, like I think at this point we are where we are with this group in terms of what we know, what they can be and what they can't be. I just want to see this team play with some physicality, with some heart, with some passion. And I'm not saying that they're not playing with passion. They're just not playing smart all the time. Right. Like that's kind of the big thing with this group right now, is that they make these mistakes and they're just not able to overcome them. They just don't have the talent or the consistency right now to overcome some of the mistakes they're making. And I don't have a whole lot of optimism for this weekend, but I do think that this is a game here where LSU has to come out and show that they can be an aggressor against an opponent, and we'll see if they can get up for this matchup. This is obviously their biggest home game of the year by far, and they're going to have to play an A+ game on both sides of the ball to have a chance of getting this done.
What do you think adds more pressure to this season, or maybe more of the disappointment to the season? Is it the fact that you went out and spent the money over the offseason to get the players and had, like BK said, the most talented roster, or is it the fact that the rest of the country also seems to be having issues and it almost feels like it's a wide open season to go out and make something happen? Which one of those two factors weighs the most, or is it both?
I think it's probably a little bit of both, but if you're asking me to choose one, I would go to just just how much the message was in the offseason that like this was their year because of all the investment that they had poured into the personnel department and just getting the right pieces on defense and and theoretically on offense too. Like they went out and they spent a bunch of money to get Barryon Brown and Nick Anderson and Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson. Like all those guys were billed as Bauer Sharp as really high impact players that they were going to be able to utilize this in this 2025 season, and we haven't seen that translate. I mean, the Monster Delane edition has been probably one of the best of the Brian Kelly era. He's looking to be a first-round pick. I think A.J. Halsey and Tamarcus Cooley have been really solid additions. Bernard Gooden's been a really good addition. But you can poke holes in every other one that they've made, this last offseason. Like I think that there was a lot of swings and there have been some misses, and probably more misses than they probably thought going into the year. So I think that's probably the biggest disappointment when you're asking between the two. But certainly there's been opportunity. Like the SEC's just been beating up on each other now. I mean, A&M's really the only team that hasn't had any blemishes yet, and they've got a pretty tricky schedule down the stretch too. Like there's I think the days of seeing your one loss, your no loss kind of SEC team are going to be few and far between going into the postseason. So yeah, it's a giant missed opportunity, and we knew that coming into the season that if LSU didn't reach their goals, it was going to be looked at as a massive failure, and that's what it's looking like right now.
And you say that, and it just makes me it begs the question: have you ever seen this much consternation around a 2-loss team that's lost by a combined 12 points?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the thing. Yeah, they've won every single game this year. Like they've had opportunities to win both of those games at Ole Miss and at Vanderbilt that they have just
feels like you should have won
way too much. And I think that this team is more talented than maybe what they've shown, but I think that also comes back to coaching, right? And not being able to get the most out of the talent that you have. So look, there's a lot of things that we can talk about in the off season, but absolutely, like if you look at this group right now, there's a lot of improvement that needs to be taking place, and we haven't seen it, over the course of this 6-week stretch to really, make you believe that this is a group that's capable of doing the impossible here. And it's going to have to start this weekend and with a solid performance. But I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I just don't see it right now.
If LSU runs the table and wins a national championship from this point, I'll color to be shocked. But Brian Kelly would be able to go to every press conference ever. We'd never have to he wouldn't have to try ever again. He'd just be like, "Look, what I got you, you're one." But just to where we are, because the roster, you have the talent.
Look, there's an extreme case here, right? The extreme case on the negative side is that LSU loses and they keep dropping all these games, and the program's in a really bad spot, and you have to move on from Brian Kelly. Or you run the tables here, you win the next 5 games, you win the SEC championship, you go win a national championship, and then maybe Brian Kelly leaves, just
gets an extension.
Retire, right?
There you go.
Off into the sunset. So those are the two extremes here, and we got to figure out which one. Where in the middle maybe it kind of comes together.
Is there any? I've heard this theory of him maybe taking not the entire buyout if it does go a little bit more south.
Derek Carr, the situation.
Yeah, the Derek Carr situation. Like, you're not a fit, I'm not a fit. We don't really like each other. Like, what if I just take $20 million to walk away and I'll retire?
Yeah, I haven't heard much on that front. Like, I just I'd hate to come out here and speculate on anything with that regard, but yeah,
No, a
I
total
think that-
hypothetical.
Oh, it's a total. Okay, if it's a hypothetical, then yeah, like I think it's possible. Look, I mean, they do it in the pros all the time, with players and honestly, I think with coaches too. Like if you're ready to kind of move on, ready to retire, then yeah, I'm sure there can be some kind of middle ground that's met there. But I mean, look, if I was making $10 million a year as a head coach, I certainly wouldn't be looking to
leave.
Get less, I play out the rest of that contract no matter what. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I that's pretty much my thought on that.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you, Glenn. Thank you for joining us. All the insight and discussion. We'll talk to you again soon. Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. There he is, Glenn West from Go 24/7. Great stuff. I mean, I appreciate his honesty in the discussion and how open he was. That was very good. And I think it's just a real representation of where this program is. And you can have that discussion for 30 minutes and it not really bat an eye like, oh, it's just where the program is. The honesty is necessary because it is a mess right now. And I think when Glenn kind of laid out the ending there where it was like, it can go this way or it can go this way. You can run the table and win a natty or it can all implode and you fall apart. And I think if you want to figure out where LSU's at, it's not a direct middle, in my opinion, even looking at Saturday. Like, it is leaning much more towards the implosion,
National
which is why I begged I begged the question of, like, if they lose on Saturday, does it all just fall apart? And
it feels like it feels like it
Yeah.
does.
And
It's
so,
right. Like we have to be honest. I know people want to hear some positivity, but like
I very easily think if they go out there and win on Saturday, it can light a fire and
Show
be
me
a spark,
something.
and then there's national media discussion around the bye weekend going into Bama, and like you can paint that picture 1,000%. If they go out there and take care of business against A&M, who's the number 3 team in the country, it all can turn on its head very fast. Where it's okay, they got a big win. They need to be able to do it on the road. They have that opportunity against a very good Alabama team where you have 2 weeks to get healthy, get right, and prepare going into an open date before you play Alabama. Where you can really and I think that will be the discussion if they go out there and they handle business on Saturday. I just think, like Glenn said, it's more likely that A&M comes in and is able to break that historical narrative the same way Vandy did last week, and it just kind of the season loses its legs, and everything was on all these guys that were paid for, that were brought here, and that was due to win a national championship. And if you lose on Saturday, that hope is somewhat gone. And so, like Sean says, honesty over positivity. Yeah, I want to be positive, and I think there's a positive route to look at this game, and maybe tomorrow it'll be more prevalent. But hearing Glenn sit there and give his honest take on Saturday and the viewpoint that this is a really tough matchup for LSU.
Right.
They have not done well against mobile quarterbacks over the last 2 years, and even looking at last week. They don't have a good offensive line whatsoever. They struggled to keep Nussmeier upright. The fact that, like Glenn said, the fact that Nussmeier survived last Saturday without an interception is jarring because of how much pressure that was put on him. And now you're going up against a better pass rush. There are not many reasons to look at how LSU wins this game outside of the atmosphere, Death Valley, and the fact that you can come out and maybe punch A&M in the mouth and pull off. Now I'm leaning more towards the fact that it will be an upset. That just from the narratives that were like Jonathan said earlier, that like Glenn just said, there are so many reasons why LSU shouldn't win this game.
All evidence says that we're not.
Right.
The only thing that kind of gives me hope is we do see it week to week in the SEC where teams, you can show up flat and you get kicked in the teeth and it doesn't make any sense, but fuck, it happened, and maybe that can change it. But if that's what we're hanging our hat on,
right?
No, well, it feels somewhat like you're banking on LSU pulling off an LSU, like almost you're banking on them being LSU baseball of like the Maneri Magic back in the day where the season seemed dead, and then somehow going into even they did it in 24 with that team where you had a bad SEC season, and you go into the SEC tournament and you just start rattling off wins and rally possums and Milam walk-offs and all the. That's almost what it feels like you're banking on for Saturday.
Banking on A&M coming out cold,
right?
And it having nothing to do with us
because they are A&M.
That's what you're banking on. It's historical narratives.
Right.
A&M will A&M at some point
the same way
this season.
you bet on it last Saturday and it flopped.
Right. But that's
the thing is with all the evidence, all of everything we can see.
Right.
Like Lloyd, you said, like 2 losses by 12 points. And yeah, when you put it that way, it does seem absurd. But we've watched these games. We've watched every one of these games. We've watched every snap.
Well,
we know what these teams are. They played them close, but
I don't want to put too much stock into losing by not a lot of points. When you win, you also win ugly and by not a lot of points.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You beat Florida, South Carolina by a combined 20. You've banked on holding teams to 10. When teams have scored more than 10 points, you've lost.
Yeah.
So as much as, they only lost 2 games by combined 12, they've also only won 2 conference games by a combined 20. So the conference score right now, you're ahead, but you're only winning by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. You've won by 20 points combined. You've lost by 12 points combined. I feel like it's more so the way you've won than it is the way you've lost, because it's the same.
Yeah.
Like your wins look like your losses, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
The only thing that's different between them is Death Valley. That's why that's the narrative going into Saturday. The only difference between your wins and your losses are the fact that you're in Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night.
How many games has Brian Kelly lost in Tiger Stadium? 2? Only 2?
2.
Tennessee and Alabama last
Tennessee
year?
and Alabama. Everything else has been wins at home.
All of his wins are just wins at home.
He's 11-11 on the road.
That's
this
disgusting.
is also a top 10 team, so let's cut those chances at half again.
Right, they have not performed well against ranked teams. They have not performed well on the road, and even in neutral site games, they don't play well because those are usually season over.
If this team magically shows up,
and key word. Magically.
Yes, that's very
Which
much.
sucks, guys. It really pisses me off that you have to say magically.
Plays to the potential that we know they have.
Right.
Yeah, we could.
You could beat anybody in the
You
country.
could beat anybody in the country.
We win going to 2 touchdowns, but there's no evidence that's shown us that they're capable of doing that.
And it just sucks looking forward, because if you're able to pull something off this weekend, you have a game that's going to mean something in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
My fear is if you don't pull it off this weekend and you go into Tuscaloosa with a game that doesn't mean anything, how ugly will that look?
There's a possibility if we lose this one, we maybe only beat Western Kentucky for the rest of the season.
That's very much on the table. Because
$18 million to go 6-6.
I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are doing just that.
Everybody's selling their tickets.
Right. I don't know. That's just one of these. It's just such an odd thing, because I think everybody's waiting to see the $18 million. You're waiting to see, God, I know the potential of this team.
Right. How long can you hold on to that?
Right. I think that right now,
this Saturday.
Yeah.
A loss at home, and if it's you scored 14 points,
I think it's one game too early to sell your tickets.
This is your but if you win and you do something that you haven't done really all year, I guess is Clemson the best game you've played?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Southeastern.
But that doesn't count.
Right, against a Division I opponent.
It's the best game you played. It's because you played an FCS team.
I still don't even I don't really remember anything that remarkable happening in Southeastern.
We just looked
you
you should look against Southeastern.
Yeah.
But
if it looks like Clemson, is that enough for people to be like, okay, maybe you're okay? You just haven't made any progress.
From a national media perspective,
from a fan base that's like, okay, I'm still in on the season.
The winning like Clemson would not be good.
Is it because you haven't made any progress this year?
Yes.
There's been nothing.
You have not made progress.
You've gotten worse.
And that's what I was about to say. And on the defensive side of the ball, you have not stayed at the same level.
And that's mostly because of fatigue, injuries, because they've been out there constantly.
I think it's also just because you're banking on them winning you games against teams with an offensive identity. They can win you games against teams that are struggling on offense. You've seen it thrice.
Give you 5 picks, no problem.
Where they can beat Florida, Clemson, and South Carolina, teams that don't know who they are on the offensive side of the ball. You've played 2 teams that do know who they are and have a competent offense, and you've lost those games. So, look, I think it's a tough one on Saturday, and we'll spend a lot of tomorrow talking about it. Rohan Davey will be in studio tomorrow to help us get ready for it. We'll have the weekend to discuss it as well. It's a real tough spot, and there's a lot of pressure put on LSU in this spot. In my opinion, there's still a lot of pressure on A&M as well, which can lead to the A&M A&Ming. I just think when you look at, if I were to make a list, like if I had a whiteboard right here, and I was going to make a list of reasons why LSU should win and reasons why A&M should win, A&M's list would probably fill up the board. I would go with Marcel Reed, pass rush, their offensive identity, the fact that they have a rushing attack. The weather even plays into A&M's hands because you can't run the football. So A&M can run the football better than you can. Missing players on LSU's defense. Go down. I can list out the reasons why A&M wins. The reasons why LSU would win. Tigers, Death Valley.
A&Ming potentially.
Right.
And that's what you would be banking on, and that is a tough spot to live in. So don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by our friend Tom Granning. If you want to look for a positive this weekend, it's the fact that you can get your hands on some Wardo's Po' Boys out there tailgating on Saturday. Our guy Tommy G from Go Mart and Wardo's in Natchez, Mississippi. Wardo's right there on the beautiful Natchez Bluff. He'll be out there, of course, as always, on LSU's campus getting ready for a Saturday night in Death Valley, and he will be cooking it up on Saturday. So if you are on campus, you want to swing by, say hey to Tom, maybe get your hands on a turkey Tom. We'll be doing probably the same. We appreciate him, all he does for the show, and for tuning in every single morning like he does. Shout out to Tommy G, Tom Granning, Go Mart, and Wardo's. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Tingle & Co. to close it out here on this Thursday morning.
Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
again.
All right.
Welcome back here as we close out hour number 2 in this Thursday morning show. We appreciate all of you continuing to support us. Thank you very much, and continue to like, share with your friends, your family. Take a stranger's phone and subscribe for them. We want to continue to grow here at Tingle & Co. We appreciate all of you and how invested you are.
Be careful whose phone you take, though.
Yes, be very careful.
Because you could get cited in a gambling probe.
Could get cited. There is quite the story building up in the NBA right now. As Hunter Hall referenced, I know we're not a big NBA show.
But we're a sports show.
We're a sports show, and there is something going on right now. I'm definitely intrigued to hear what Pablo Torre has to say.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is crazy.
Should gambling have just stayed in the shadows?
Yes.
This is, I don't know if I would have believed this had it not been reported by all these, if somebody would have just told me there was a gambling situation in the NBA associated with the mafia, I would say, what movie did you watch last night?
Right.
Like, that is just something out of a movie. But
Eddie.
no, you are now getting Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been arrested by the FBI for alleged illegal gambling. And then it goes on, ABC News says, Chauncey Billups has been charged in an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia. Law enforcement sources have told ABC News. Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier was arrested in a separate but related betting case. And then who was the other one? There was somebody else got arrested today. Damon Jones.
His name was Wade Jones.
Damon Jones gets arrested and charged in an illegal gambling case, who's a former NBA player and coach. And so now that's 3 in just a short period of time, all arrested in this illegal gambling, I guess you could call it ring or situation.
I mean,
in the NBA, like this is literally something out of a movie.
Right, and then lest we forget, Gilbert Arenas also was arrested along with a suspected high-level member of an Israeli transnational organized crime group, were arrested today on a federal indictment alleging they were operating an illegal gambling business in which high-stakes poker games were played at an Encino mansion. Like, this is everywhere.
This is a mess.
Gilbert Arenas played in the NBA, for those who don't know.
Right. He's now a podcast host, but
well, yeah.
I mean,
not anymore.
No.
I don't know. Maybe.
But it's just like this is like nothing I've ever heard. Like, I genuinely would have thought you were talking about a movie
or like a '50s thing,
right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
like
the
it's 2025.
The NYU boys basketball team point shave it because mafia.
It's the
baby
the
hands
mafia.
risotto.
Like this is.
They lost to the Fordham Ducks by 4 points.
Kick in your door with this old 6-shooter. Like,
stick 'em up.
Yeah. Tommy gun time.
Yeah, no, instead it's 2025 and head coaches, veteran players, and former coaches and players are getting arrested in a legal gambling ring.
I know it's not a popular opinion. We shouldn't be letting all these people gamble. It's just going to lead to more of this stuff because people are going to get in trouble financially. People are going to see that as an opportunity to take advantage of them.
And this is the craziest part is like, if it was like it was more former players that were bankrupt and had
these are guys
that are making millions of dollars.
Uh-huh.
Like Terry Rozier's career earnings,
$160 million. 160.
You're rich.
You're very rich.
You're in a great spot financially. What are you doing? Why do you need $13,000 on his under? That
wasn't him. Yeah, that wasn't him betting it.
Right, but still.
But he was the one that agreed to do it. Like, why? You're getting a cut of something somewhere. Of course.
Give him $13,000.
Yeah,
you have $160 million.
When you wonder like. What vulnerable place did you put yourself in? Because, at the same point, like, yeah, they have all this money, they're rich, but they're also marks, and if you see these people in certain, if you're like the type of guy that's a shark and you're looking out for marks that have a ton of cash, some of these NBA guys are going to check that list.
Right.
And who knows what kind of situations you can get them in. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but.
That's probably what you have to have something else.
Yeah, and that's the real, and that's why I'm interested in what Pablo Torre can kind of, because it's almost perfect for him.
Yeah, it is.
Like he's become the sleuth, the detective that's going to uncover it all. If you haven't
the Nancy
tuned
Drew of
in
sports.
to anything that Pablo Torre has done, where I think what's the show Pablo Torre Finds Out is the name of it, where he's gone in depth into the Steve Ballmer stuff with the Clippers and how they have like a shell company that's helping pay Kawhi Leonard to come play for them and doing these extra deals. He's got these $1 million investors that are cutting checks for the player.
Right,
He's gone investigated all of that.
$50 million in a company that then cuts a $25 million check to Kawhi the next day.
And then like even the Bill Belichick stuff, he's gone. So if you're interested, I would definitely look into what Pablo Torre finds out, because this is just kind of a layup for him. Like that was, I sent my dad the link to all of the Chauncey Billups stuff, and I said, "Where is Pablo Torre?" Because that's who you need right now. Like it's
gonna be really,
something out of a movie. Like
it's gonna be interesting to see what the underlying reasons for this are.
Because there have to be.
You can't just
other
be.
things
You can't
that
be
are
this stupid.
Right. There's got to be
But
like
you can.
It's got to be like blackmail. Like there's got to like that's
Yeah,
where
that's
your
right.
mind goes. Where it's like
He's not just doing this because he thinks it's fun.
Right.
It's not
Right,
like, I'm gonna
there's
fake a
something
foot injury and bet on my like. They're saying, Terry, you better hit the under,
like
and it's
Terry-
like or
no,
else.
you have to hit the under, or they all find out.
You know,
Yeah,
or did he
like-
lose several $1 million at an under, one of these illegal betting an illegal poker game kind of a thing, and it's like, well,
Right.
you need to start making some of this back. Let's do it little by little. How about we start hitting some unders? You know what I mean? Like it could be as simple as that. If you don't spend your money responsibly, these guys
Right,
do blow
and
through
you-
it all the time.
Yeah,
You just,
$96 million is tough to lose.
but people have done it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's a whole Netflix 30 for 30 called Broke.
Right.
'Cause it's like, how?
Yeah.
But
This thing about Chauncey Billups, like he's a
finals
MVP,
invested.
and he's gone through. He's got millions of dollars from going through the league, and now he's also a head coach who.
He's vested, and he gets paid by the NBA still because he retired.
Right,
Like,
right,
he
right.
played long enough.
No, like he's good. Like he's
It should
financially
be
taken
fine.
care of.
You don't need to be playing
But
Israeli poker.
But it sounds like they're getting mixed in Israeli poker, mafia poker games.
I guess the rush would be this is all very exciting.
That's probably how it starts, and then it turns into some
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
thing than you ever
You
imagined.
win a mafia
and then,
game, and you're like, oh, I just won $1 million.
This is uncut gems.
No, yeah. I mean, there will be a movie made,
Yeah.
a documentary.
Would you be this concerned about it, or because I do think the underlying thing for us is you're sitting the underbelly of sports that I don't think people really would like to choose to believe in, even though it very much does exist.
Right,
where
right,
people are your sport is fixed. Like we've seen it happen with basketball before.
Right.
You just saw. Yeah.
Officials.
Right, that's the number one way to do it. Is
Right.
they're not rich.
Yeah.
I would love to fix some games and try to help.
Well, it's also the easiest way to fix it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and basketball's
Foul, shoot your free
basketball's
throw.
the
Yeah.
easiest
Hit that, you
sport
got it.
to fix.
No doubt.
Right.
know.
Right. No,
That's what.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, if Terry Rozier was betting on his overs,
Right.
but that would change my opinion on it.
Yeah, but you can't control that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But if he's just
Well,
betting
but
on,
if it was
betting
just
on
betting
himself,
on overs, it wouldn't.
Sure,
It wouldn't light
without
up,
a-
set off any alarms.
Well,
It'd be
yeah.
like, oh, he just thinks he's going to play really good tonight, and you can't control if you hit your over or not.
right?
It's
But, I mean,
something-
you can.
Right,
it's
that's
just-
just you're just like a weirdly confident man.
Right.
You're just doing that with
You're
no mafia
extremely
involvement.
talented.
You're just
Right,
like,
right.
You know what else?
I believe in me.
Yeah, you know what else? If you play well, you get a contract. You don't need to gamble on yourself.
No,
Right,
no.
And
you're already gambling on yourself by just playing
being
the-
here.
Yeah.
You're being too literal about it, my man.
I mean, becoming a professional athlete a lot of times is by
A gamble.
betting on yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like-
Well,
Well, it
what's
worked
the
once.
difference?
Right.
Why not make an extra $4,000?
Oh, you're telling me I can't? I'm gonna score 20,
This is
25.
This is very interesting to see how
Well-
like you said, the dirty underbelly of this sport.
And it's
And
always
sports in general.
been there, but now it's easier to get at these
It's
guys.
social media, and everything's digital, and it's easy to find. You've got the cloud and all these.
And that
like-
there is all this legal gambling that you can then strong arm through a legal
Right,
means
right.
because there's so much more money in it. Like,
it's crazy.
just the underbelly got a little bigger.
And,
Oh, and easier to see.
Yeah.
And all of
We
this
fattened up the.
is brought to you by FanDuel.
That's
Like-
the thing.
Right,
Is I don't want to ruin any potential future sponsorships.
Yeah.
Gamble
but-
responsibly in this one happened,
No, I
folks.
mean,
Yeah.
gambling. I mean, most people.
FanDuel, you can
sports
set
bet.
personal limits.
Yeah,
You
no,
bring-
if you have a gambling problem, call the number. It's on every billboard.
1-800.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Massachusetts, then you call that number.
Yeah. But
It's. I mean, this is just
because this
It's
is
fascinating.
it is because you've seen this report of the SEC official that has been
Yeah,
permanently
I saw that.
suspended.
which has that ever happened? Have you ever
No,
seen,
not
like,
that I know of.
I've never seen that actually. It's always been like,
It's just a
are they
report.
actually going to do something about this official?
I don't know.
1-3 put it out. I thought, like I saw it get put out by some official outlets.
Just don't gamble with money you don't have, folks. If you can't
Gamble in the right places. Use FanDuel with your own.
even
money.
then, though, just make sure whatever you're gambling, you can afford to lose.
FanDuel. There's no mafia on FanDuel.
Yeah, don't have a You won't have a gun pointed at your head.
That's just right there. It's
It's
just
just dust off the app. Hit a parlay.
easy. No, I mean that. Very interesting. And the same with the SEC official. Like,
Yeah, that's.
I mean, there were some questionable calls in that football game,
yeah, it was the timeout that he was clapping.
right? And there was
Right.
also the
Clap like
an
this.
Auburn touchdown that
Uh-huh.
gets ruled not a touchdown at a key moment of the game. Like,
Goal line review.
But referees have been incompetent since the beginning of time.
right. But this is the first time you're seeing it be like publicly say, "Oh no, this one's suspended." Like they deal with incompetence all the time. What's his face from the Nola no call is still reffing games.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
We
Like-
talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like,
Yeah.
there's no accountability for these dudes in terms
No.
of being shitty at your job.
Right, and now they've opened the door. College players can bet on pro sports, and I saw that there's a G League player who is waiting on a waiver from the NCAA to go from the G League
He got cleared to go to Louisville.
to play college basketball.
Yeah,
Like,
he got cleared yesterday.
this is all getting very,
It's
messy. Like the rule was always
How long has he been in the G League?
3 years.
like the
Oh.
rule
He
was always
played-
once you're like I remember
He played for the
that
Ignite,
was
that team that took
the
high
G
school
League
players.
Ignite, which is like what started taking college players to pay them $500,000.
Who was
to
it?
play.
Scoop or who was the guy?
Yeah, Scoot
Henderson.
Henderson did it. Jalen Green played
did it,
there.
like, Jonathan Kaminga.
Uh-huh. Holland.
Yep, Ron Holland. And so like there's
So this is legitimate.
the
Like,
G
people-
League
yeah,
Ignite is like a real thing, but like they've never gone back
But
and
they
played.
They never- so
they
they
canceled
formed-
the team.
right.
They stopped doing it. But yeah, these guys have already been paid by an NBA entity.
Well, and it's not even just the NBA. Like I remember when the Ball brothers went and played in Lithuania when they left
UCLA.
Chino Hills and UCLA, and they went and played in Lithuania. Like they were like LaMelo, once he went and played in Lithuania and got that check written out, was never going to be able to play college basketball. Like he had to go.
And I think the logic they're using now is like you see all these teams are signing European 19-year-olds that have played
Right.
3 years, and
Right.
like Bestikas or whatever the
Yes.
fuck it is.
I
And
mean,
it's like
LSU has a
Yeah.
has a 25
the Israeli guy, right?
Well, they have one that played in the Israeli league, and then they have Zipper, who I don't remember where he played.
But I mean, like, and I think that this is the
overseas.
logic that these players are arguing is like, well, wait, what's the difference if
Yeah,
I've
that
done
is
this
true.
and you let Valčinas Jaskinovis come down from whatever
Yeah, he's been
Lithuanian
playing-
A-League, so he's been playing
playing
since
professional
15.
basketball and getting paid.
Right, and so like
But-
now it's just blurring a lot of
It's blurring a
these
lot of lines.
lines. Like you can go into the like if you're. I saw a post. It was a fake post, but it was like Cam Reddish, who played in the league for a minute, only played 1 year of college basketball, and is now out of
Top
the league.
5
They're
pick
like,
was a bust.
they're like, why not? Why can't he go back and play
High school.
4 more years in
It's
college?
like, well,
He's-
yeah, by this logic, like, what is the line?
What is stopping LeBron James from retiring and then saying, you know what?
I didn't use any of my
actually
eligibility.
want to go play at
Duke.
Right, I got 4
Always
years.
wanted to.
Now
That would be awesome.
I didn't
though.
exhaust it.
that would be pretty sick.
I mean, if he came to LSU,
It sounds like
I mean,
a 90s sports movie,
yeah,
honestly.
it should. Like, this
this
is
is
great.
all getting wild.
And
But
he
it's
gets
like-
caught gambling, and he gets caught. This is it.
But really, like, what is the legal argument?
Where are the parameters?
Where are the parameters? What is the difference between playing in a G League affiliate, still getting paid by an NBA entity,
Right.
and playing for an NBA team, and then wanting to go back?
I don't know. Like LeBron James couldn't play in college because he played in 2 All-Star games. That's how strict it used to be.
Yeah,
Right,
well, it used
right.
to. I mean,
Like
it used
he
to be
forwent his college
draconian.
experience because he played in like the Under Armour or whatever All-American game and the McDonald's All-American
right.
games. Like you can't play in 2 of them.
Well, I mean,
It's like,
if
the
you
fuck does that matter?
If you
Well, on top of
signed
that-
a card and someone else sold it,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All of and now it's like
You
I mean,
could
what
go
was it?
play.
They stopped doing the go straight out of high school to play professional ball because you needed to be removed from high school from a year. Well, now you can just go from professional ball to college.
Like, what the fuck? Then what's it's also arbitrary and strange.
It is crazy.
Well, it's because college is like this.
The way it's the same thing. Like, what was it? Shamar Stewart, drafted by the Bengals.
He can go back to college.
Like, can he go back to college if he doesn't? They're like,
I don't know.
Why can't he?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Because
he
college
could have
is
gone back to college. He could have entered the draft again.
Right. But then the conversation got extended to, well, if he still has a year of eligibility left,
right?
Why can't he re-enroll somewhere?
Yeah. Why can't he enroll back in school? And that's where like this whole facade of college and eligibility is just made. It's invented. It's made up.
Right.
Like, but it's something that we're so used to that we think it should like.
Well, it's because the NCAA is
right
diminishing, and so then
you're starting to see like
the veneer is gone.
This is the concern of what was happening.
It's always been a semi-pro league.
Right,
it's just they didn't get paid.
Publicly.
Yeah, publicly.
Right. Like,
and now that's gone, the absurdity of the whole thing is just like
right. Well, it started. Now there are
obvious.
holes in every argument the NCAA was able to put.
Yeah, the house of cards is toppled.
It was the conversation we had with the Will Waste. It was like, does the NCAA actually even have the power to do anything?
No.
They never did anything with Coach Self at Kent, and now it's just
no. You're just expecting teams to follow
made up rules,
like Scout's honor, and be like, well, yep, ashamed, I'm going to leave. But it's like no, like you can't. The FEI could have done something because there was, that's why they were investigating it. I don't remember all the ins and outs of it, but there was some kind of legal gray area. But the NCAA can't force you to.
No, you don't have to listen.
No, they have no power. You are finding out publicly they have no power. They have no power, no direction, no structure, no parameters, no nothing.
And then but that's why this is like. I guess this is what the NCAA just wash their hands and go, well, look what it looks like when we're not involved. Yeah, it's like, okay, it's a free market, and you can be 31 years old and be like, actually,
I want to go back and play college
I only played 1 year. Yeah. What was stopping me from not, like, Diego Pavia, like, I'm just going to go back to school.
If you give a mouse a Puma sponsorship, it's going to want a glass of milk.
That's right. There
you go.
That's what I always say.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see because, like, it's all. I think basketball is usually the sport that pushes a lot of limits and lines, and there's, where there was always the straight out of high school to the NBA, and then it's got to go to college, but it's only 1 year, and then it became, well, you can actually go to the G League straight out of high school, and then the overtime elite stuff came. Like basketball has kind of been
and they were the first ones to be really grimy about it,
the forefront of all of it. But at some point, those things are going to start trickling into other sports. Like at some point, I mean, there's going to be like a conversation. Like Pavia already, like what he changed the rule about JUCOs, where JUCOs don't even count in your eligibility anymore.
That's fake school.
Like, okay, well then where are the lines going to start being drawn with football? Because then it's going to be like, well, why can't somebody go straight from high school to the NFL? And then it's going to be like, well, why can't someone from the NFL go back to college if they fall out of the league? Like,
why can't they go back to high school?
That one's just the NFL rule is just because there's an age minimum. Right.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing there. That they're
that's the NFL rule.
Yeah, that's their own entity. Blah,
but
blah,
I'm
blah.
saying from the NCAA standpoint, why can't a pro football player come back and play if they played in the XFL? Like, I mean,
that I was actually thinking that if they
CFL was like
went to if they went straight out of high school and did
the USFL, the UFL,
played
whatever
2 years in JUCO
are.
And then signed and played
Arena Football League or whatever, and they were just like, you know what, actually.
I want to go to college.
Can you get them in the portal?
Yeah. I want to go back to my school. I still have eligibility. I've only played 3
I've never
years.
played any college.
Right. I mean, it's...
And now I'm 28, and I've been playing quarterback for, the last 10 years in the Arena League. Like, I think I'm ready for college.
Yeah.
It's all very funny. And they can all gamble on each other at the same time.
We appreciate you guys this morning. As we're going to play some games, close it out this morning. You want to gamble on this?
I would.
Bet on yourself. We've got...
I can give you good points on that.
Yeah. I know a guy.
If you need a little bit of credit, I got you.
The triangle offense, the pick and roll offense, the motion offense, and the Princeton offense. Yeah. There we go. You've got cheer, clap, boo, and whistle. Yeah.
Are these that word? Or is it that one?
No, you're thinking about you run afoul
Minor league team names, maybe?
The Storm Chasers.
Jumbo Shrimp.
We are the Jumbo Shrimp, here to play a game. Ah!
And the Sunblock.
I don't know, the Sounds, like the Nashville Sounds or something? I don't know.
Oh, the Sounds is actually a good guess. Jumbo Shrimp, Storm Chasers, Aces, and Sounds.
I would possibly. I don't want to be the reason we.
Yeah.
Ah, AAA. There you go.
Alexandria Aces. They were not AAA.
I thought that's what that was going to be. Foul, assist, block, and point. But there we go. Great job. Good job. Look at this minor league aficionado over here. Knows about the Sounds. And
there's no other reason that Jumbo Shrimp would be up there.
The Storm Chasers.
I have a Jumbo Shrimp t-shirt.
You do have a Jumbo Shrimp t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do.
I just sung their song. We are the Jumbo Shrimp, here to play a game. Ah! Whoosh. That's what they do at the game.
How many Jumbo Shrimp games have you been
I've
to?
not been to or seen one. I just know that.
There you go. I guess it fits. If you're going to wear the shirt, you should know.
Yeah. Huge
It
fan.
legitimizes you a little bit.
That's
you
right.
know? Like, oh, you're a Jumbo Shrimp fan? And then you just hit him with that.
Name their 3 best albums.
Yeah. I know the credo.
There you go. Oh, Jennifer Garner, Paul Rudd.
Wow. That's the best one yet. Jennifer.
Draft day.
Yeah, she was on in the couch, in the closet. Paul Rudd not drafted.
No. Ant-Man.
Wow. The beard threw me off. Did it look like it was an Amish person?
Yeah.
In a 6 year, so 10th overall in the SEC in 2015 draft. 2015 SEC running back.
Is this Leonard?
No, Leonard was 2016 draft. So this was the year before Leonard, and it was. Let me think. An SEC running back. 6-year career is what's throwing me off. The Rams drafted Todd Gurley out of Georgia.
Oh. Yeah. Because he's still younger than.
Yeah, he's retired and he's
like
young.
A handful.
Right. The most recent World Series sweep was in 2012 when the Giants swept this team. 2012 Giants swept
the Royals or some sad shit like that.
The Royals won in, what was it, 14?
Yeah, they went before that, I believe. Maybe.
And the Giants are in which
say
league? They're in the
National
League, so it's an American League team we're looking for.
I don't. Yeah, this is.
Was this the year that?
Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Cabrera.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking of was Miguel. Bang. After 15 seasons with Fran McCaffrey, Ben McCollum is the new head coach of this Big Ten school. Fran McCaffrey. This is basketball?
Mm-hmm.
Fran McCaffrey. Big Ten school. Is it Stanford?
No.
Creighton? No. Creighton's always had what's-his-face as the coach.
Iowa.
Oh, yeah. McCaffrey. Because they had a...
I was thinking Big East. Sorry.
No. Creighton's always had McDermott. Yeah. McDermott's their coach. Let's get you taken care of. And America's Neighborhood Tire Store have been slogans associated with this company.
America's Neighborhood Tire Store is the one that lets you know that they sell tires. Right? What do you think that?
I would assume
One would
so.
hope.
They definitely sell tires.
Good year?
It's
Goodyear.
Michelin.
Valley Forge.
Valley Forge Auto.
Valley Forge Auto.
Let's get you taken care of.
Discount Tire. Says Johnny L. Goodson. Discount Tire.
Sure.
I told you it's tires. I was all over it.
Yeah, you were. Valley Forge Auto.
Founded in 1983, this bagel chain with nearly 200 locations advertises a New York style with the Guinness World Record for the largest bagel. Is it New York Bagel?
That sounds like New York Bagel, but does New York Bagel have 200 locations?
I mean, they're here.
Right. I mean, I've had Einstein Bros. They have that in the Union.
They don't even have New York Bagel listed, so it can't be that.
Who has the largest bagel ever?
H&H Bagel?
Is that real? I thought that was just a Seinfeld joke.
Honey baked ham. It might be. Maybe it's a joke. I didn't get it. Andrew Messina.
He usually has his sitcom jokes.
Yeah, H&H is where
You got
Kramer
some,
worked.
You got some Seinfeld or some Office lingo thrown at you.
He was on strike for 25 years.
I don't know. I'm not an avid bagel guy.
I'm not either.
Brugger.
I will eat a bagel.
This man says Brugger Bagel. I've never heard of Brugger Bagel.
Shout out Johnny L. Goodson.
Cool.
That's right. With Bruce Campbell reprising his famous role as a spin-off TV show of the Evil Dead franchise called Ash vs. Evil Dead, and on this premium cable channel from 2015 to 2018.
I think it's
AMC? But
Is that premium cable?
AMC just had it was normal cable.
AMC Plus?
oh, see now I don't know.
FX, Stars, HBO.
FX is not. Is that premium cable?
No, I guess not.
This man says
Ash
Stars.
vs. Evil Dead Stars?
I was trying to think of all the.
Oh, okay.
Stars. A sleeper hit with a massive cult following. A home invasion by 3 masked intruders was the focus of this 2000-something horror film. Liv Tyler, Scott Speedman, and Glen Howerton.
I've seen this a few
Home
times.
invasion by 3 masked intruders. You've seen the movie multiple times?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where my brain is.
A sleeper hit. It's a sleeper hit with a massive cult following. It's a home invasion by 3 masked intruders. It was the focus of this 2009.
Is this The Strangers?
It's something like that. It's the somethings.
The Strangers.
Yeah, y'all know that better than I. I've not seen this sleeper hit with a massive cult following.
I have.
Love bleeds.
It is
love
scary.
lives.
It's actually not
love
scary.
Dies. A
Love
Def Leppard
hurts.
song.
Is it not Love Hurts?
Is that Def Leppard?
No, that's me. That ain't NBA young boy. NBA young boy.
I don't know. But I know the song.
Come on, chat.
Love bleeds.
Yeah.
Come on, sing it. Keep
It
going.
makes a lot of pain. That one, right?
Uh-huh. Love bites.
The bites. Okay.
That was close. We knew the song.
Y'all did. Y'all knew the song. There you go.
Yay, 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 yay.
Appreciate all of you. Thank you for hanging out with us this morning. Like I said, make sure you
Predictions tomorrow.
subscribe. We'll give our predictions, our expectations, our thoughts.
It's gonna be a sunny show.
It's going to be a real exciting show getting ready for Texas A&M LSU on Saturday night. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Make sure you like, subscribe. Once the stream is down, leave a comment and share it with some friends and family. Get everybody to subscribe as we continue on. Thank you all. We appreciate y'all continuing to support, tune in, and love us because we love you. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m.
Don't gamble with the mafia.
Mr. Big Shot, huh?